Hi everybody, Doug at Cowtown, and today we are looking at a Z518. Now, everybody puts a lot of hype in our Z520s, Z521s. This boat is in the same family, but it is an 18-foot boat. Same quality as our regular Z500s. Our Z500s are our highest quality and some of our highest priced bass boats as well. But we're going to show you a 518 today. Now, pretty standard in 2014. We don't have the nav light pole anymore. They do have them mounted in the hull. This particular boat that we ordered does have an 80-pound trolling motor on it, and it does have universal sonar. Now, another good feature on the boat, and I've showed this before, is the retractable cleats. Good advantage to these. You're not going to get your shirt hung, you're not going to trip over it, stub your toe, get your fishing line hung on it. When we're not using it, we simply fold it away. The boat does have retractable rod holders, which is great. You know, I remember I've been fishing a long time, and years gone by, we've used a lot of different methods to hold our poles down. We put rubber straps across here, Velcro. Boy, we thought they were going to catch me out. Now we have retractable rod holders. They're always there. When we're not using them, they fold up into the hull of the boat really nice. This particular boat is a dual console boat. And there again, we've kind of showed this on some of our other models, but a feature that I really like in the Z500s, you know, our fishing poles get a little longer every couple of years, it seems. You know, I remember when we went to 6.6s from 6 foot, and then to 7 foot, and then 7.6s. Now we're seeing 8-foot rods. Now, with the console separate from the rail, we lay our rods down here to strap them down. It's got a nice spot for the rod tips to come in here, keeps them better protected. They're not scuffing up the consoles either. Now, another good feature, you can see it's got these nice slats in here. In a year or two ago, we did not have a screen behind these, and we'd take these boats to boat shows, and that'd be the first thing a lot of people would point out. You know, they'd be showing them these great features on the boat, and they'd say, boy, it'd be easy to get a rod tip in there and broke. Ranger listened. They come in, they put a screen in here now, no way you're going to get your rod tip hung in there. Still moving back on the boat, more rod cleats. This boat does have a nice fold-up ladder on it, as you can see. We have tie downs built onto the trailer. No more losing your transom straps. The boat trailers do have reverse lights on them, and they're LED reverse lights. And let me tell you, when you're backing down for a tournament in the wee hours of the morning, you put that baby in reverse, believe me, you can see with reverse lights on this trailer. Good feature to have. Now, this particular one has a 200 high output Evinrude ETAP on it. Now, our high output 200 horse ETAP is actually a 225 horse engine. So it's rated 200 HO, which keeps us under the horsepower rating for the boat, but it's really getting us a 225. Now, the special that we're running to sell some of our Z500s right now, Evinrude is offering a 7-year warranty on these motors instead of a 5-year warranty. 7 years is a lot of warranty on the motor, let me tell you. Now, there again, it is one of the newer model motors. It does have the new low water pickups down here in the nose cone, which means we can raise that engine a little higher, get that little bit of extra speed and takeoff, still have good water flow going to the engine. We do have a jack plate on this. Now, a jack plate on the boat, you know, I mean, I've been selling boats a long time, and I don't think a lot of people understand the true point of a jack plate. Now, the jack plate, I mean, sure, it lets you adjust the motor up and down, but it really works like this. It's just like when you've got a bolt that's too tight, and you got a ratchet on that. It's too tight. You put a cheater bar on it, lengthen that ratchet, and then when you get out on the end of that bar, you've got more leverage. The jack plate does the same thing for us. When we trim an engine up under power, it's picking the boat up, okay? Now, by moving that back on the transom a little farther, we've got more leverage on the back of the boat, meaning we can trim this boat up higher than if the motor was just bolted to the transom standard. So jack plates can be a good feature, and every model boat is different. Some boats don't need a jack plate, some need different sizes. Ranger tests all these jack plates. They recommend to their dealers which is the best one for the particular model. And if the dealer's pretty sharp and listens to them, you can get a boat that right out of the Ranger plant or out of our showroom will perform better than a standard boat. So we do that in most cases. We do have the hydraulic steering on this boat. Okay, now like our other Z500s, we do have the remote drain plug on it. Great feature. You know, I've said in our videos how much I like this, and the more I use it, the better I like it. But we do also have remote oil fill in this boat as well. Always been kind of a pain in the past to get down into where the oil tank is. You had to have a funnel. You had to, you're carpeted back there in a lot of cases. You didn't want to make a big mess. Remote oil fill is great. I mean, you simply fill your oil right there outside the boat. Good addition. Okay, up here on the rear deck now, and I'm going to show you the live well. Now, this particular model does have the one-piece live well lid. Now, you can see we have the plexiglass slider here for the live well. Now, I've been asked primarily what this is for, and in my mind what it's for, when you go to one lid on a live well, and I've done this myself, particularly in some of our aluminum jet boats that we sell, we have a big catfish live well in them. I mean, it's a big dude with a big lid. And I've, you know, thrown a crappie or two in there, or a bass, and boy, I'm excited. I've got one on. I throw that live well lid open, wham, fish comes out of the boat, right out of that live well. And it's my opinion, when they're in that dark live well, and you crack it open, and they see the light of day, every fish in that live well panics. Now, this is tinted, but when I come back here and I throw this live well lid open, and if a fish jumps, he'll ricochet off the plexiglass slider here and not jump completely out of the boat. So then we just slide it open, put our fish in, we should be good to go. Now, a good addition to this boat is it does have a live well pump out on it, meaning we can actually pump the water out of this live well instead of gravity feed. And the way we activate that, there's directions right here on the live well lid, but there's a nozzle in here, and simply by pushing it in or pulling it out, we can activate that live well pump out. And we've shown before the advantage of our live well pump out, but to go over it one more time, you know, many times in the past, I've had to grab my weigh-in bag, run down to the lake, fill it with water, truck back up to the boat, catch my fish, put them in the live well, put them in the weigh-in bag. Now, we have an outlet hole back here on the transom. Now I pull my weigh-in bag out, I open my pump out, get it pumping out the back of the boat, take my weigh-in bag back there, hold the bag open, fills with water. I lower the water in the live well, which makes the fish easier to catch anyway, and I'm good to go. So I like the remote pump out. Okay, seats in the boat. We do have a nice storage box here. It's got cup holders in it, a little round place here to keep your keys and stuff. Good storage here, cell phones and whatnot. But it also makes a really good step. We've got the SRS seating in the boat, which is the nicest we can get. This boat is also rigged with dual HDS7 fish finders. They do have a capability for the card. They have GPS, and I believe we can even have structure scan in these fish finders if we choose as well. Okay, now back here in the front of the boat, everybody knows this is my favorite place to be up here on the deck of this boat. I'm very at home in boats, especially bass boats. Now, like the other Z500 family, they did incorporate the tool holders here. They did move the measuring stick. In the past, it's been located underneath our rod box lid. They did that for a lot of years, but really it was a little unhandy. If you didn't put it away, you were afraid it'd blow out of the boat or somebody would step on it. But every time you went to use it, you got down, you opened the rod box, you got the stick, you put the rod box closed, you measure, and repeat the process. Locating this outside here, a lot easier to get to. You don't have to open that rod box many times of a day. And like I say, there's a good place for pliers and whatnot in here. And of course, one of my favorite features in any boat is a center rod box. This one's got it, and a nice one. Not typically seen in 18-foot boats, but Ranger's definitely got it figured out. They have taken the carpet out of these over the years. We all know that these seal up very nice, and in the past they've been very bad for condensation. So taking the carpet out was a big deal. You can just take a rag and wipe it out now. It does have the organizers built into it for the rods. We've got tackle storage in here. Good place to put all your rods and your tackle. Keep it very organized and neat. Just simple step off the deck, open the lid, everything you need's in a big box here. Now, this one here is a big storage box, but it is also a rod box. So we can keep just as many rods in one of these as any of our big, longer boats. So a lot of rod storage. We have a built-in cooler here, as you can see. Now this is one thing that Ranger really changed. You know, 2005, 2006, our coolers were located in the back deck of the boat. And the back deck of the boat, at least in the Z20s, was bigger than they are now on the rear deck, but that's because the cooler sat in front of the live well. They've made the front deck handier. They moved the seats back a little bit, which give the boat a little more speed. But the boat's really focused on the guy on the front deck. I mean, a lot of us fish by ourselves, or we own the boat, you know, so the guy on the back deck's just a guest. So they've made everything a little handier up here to get to for the guy that owns the boat or runs a trolling motor. They've moved the cooler up to the front of the boat, which I do like, and just made it a little nicer for, like, say, the boat owner. Now we've got a very nice storage box here as well, all carpeted, as you can see. Goes up in there a long ways. It does have the recessed trolling motor pedal, which is a great feature, of course. Another one of my favorites. I mean, every time they do an addition on one of these boats, it seems like it becomes my favorite. Mostly because I remember how the old days was, and we thought we had it good then, but boy, they really get it figured out. I mean, Ranger is one company that really listens to their customers. And every year the boats get bigger and handier, or better and handier, I should say. Now you may be asking yourself, why would I want an 18-foot boat over a Z520 or a Z521? And the answer for me is pretty simple. You know, I live here in Missouri. We're close to Lake of the Ozarks. And like most fishermen, I fish boat docks. You know, I know there's fish there. I'm looking for them crappie beds. When I'm cruising up and down next to the boat docks, I mean, I'm looking for people's lawn chairs sitting out on the boat dock, and I always assume that when I get back in there, somebody's got a crappie bed there. And 21-foot boat, maneuvering in between them boat docks can be pretty tight. You know, up here on Lake of the Ozarks in particular, we see a lot of boats where you can see on the motor where the cable from the boat dock has scuffed the motor from doing it time and time in rear corners of the boat. The 18-foot boat, man, I can get in around them boat docks in places 20 and 21 footers cannot. So big advantage on an 18-foot boat, getting where you want it to be on the trolling motor. Easier to turn around. It's a lighter boat. It may only have a 200 on it, but believe me, this boat's fast. I mean, she'll get out and run out from under you. Fun boat to drive, good to maneuver. Can't say enough good things about a Z518. All right, now up here on the bow of the boat, like I said, this boat actually does have dual HDS fish finders in it, one front, one rear. We got all our switches up here. We can trim the motor up from here. We can trim it down. We can run our nav lights from up here. We can turn our live wells on. There again, like around the console, good place to put our tools here. Good addition to the boat.